Meditate, manifest, invest in you. Join me on my spiritual journey as I elevate myself and like-minded listeners to a higher level mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for listening. This is Black Hippie Lounge, and I am your host, Chanel.
Good evening. I'm back. Hope you guys had a great holiday weekend. I last recorded the 24th. And then last week was Memorial Day weekend. I was away. I went to Houston. I had a really good time. And then I also went to Vegas after that for work, which was cool. And then I just got back from Philly. Went to the Roots picnic. Had a really good time there too. So I've been just traveling, enjoying my time off from school and the beginning of close to summer. But yeah, I had a really good time in all those places. Vegas was work, so it was a little different, but either way, I had a good time. So hopefully you guys had a safe weekend. I'm safe, got back safely, because when I was in Philly, that's when they had like that shooting or whatever, but they had a shooting where a lot of people lost their lives. So unfortunately, so definitely rest in peace to those people, and just kind of reminding people to stay safe, because things are being real crazy right now everywhere with all these shootings and stuff. So just take care of yourselves. But I wanted to do an episode just because I haven't done one yet since I've been gone, and it's like a couple of different quotes that I found, but they kind of tie together. So I'll just do like I always do. I'll read it and then I'll just dissect it. So the first one, it says, sometimes we lose the plot of our own story, sometimes for years. We're not sure who we are or where we're going or what the point is. Then we run across someone who helps us pick up the thread of our narrative again. Be patient. Some plot lines take a while to make sense. So this one I like because it's definitely something that I've talked about before, still going through. And, recently we just came out of Mercury retrograde, and there's still like another retrograde going on right now. I believe it's like Saturn or something like that. So it's just a time of transformation, a time of like really seeing where you are in your life, what things and people need to stay and go, and how, what your plan for yourself is, and how, tying that into whatever plan God has for your life, and just being patient, and being aware of your surroundings and the people that are around you, and how they are either helping or hindering their goals that you have for yourself in your life. So it happens to everybody. You lose sight of who you are, where you're going, and it's up to you to take responsibility to dissect that and be aware of that, and to get yourself back on track, or to stay on track, to accomplish your things for yourself, right? And we definitely come across people in life who help us pick up the pieces and start again, or get yourself back together. So be thankful for those people that are in your life, and utilize them to the best of your ability. So that's one message. And then the other one is it's a long one. So it says, sometimes fighting for love looks different than we imagined. It's letting go. It's moving on. It's saying goodbye. It's choosing ourselves. Sometimes fighting for love means no longer actually fighting, but rather accepting. So that's from Mark Groves. He's on Instagram. If his page is called Create the Love. And I'll read the excerpt underneath and then just kind of dissect it. So he says, we mistake letting go with giving up. It's a weird thought to consider that fighting for greater love can actually mean letting go of not just someone who who's not aligned with that path, but also behaviors and patterns of our own that aren't in alignment either. Learning to let go of things, behaviors, and people who are not in our highest alignment is a superpower. It's a commitment to the life and love that is trying to be born through us. I have often thought to myself, when I have a new awareness about a behavior and or a choice that no longer serves me, where did I learn to tolerate the mundane? Where did I learn to live in a way that miracles aren't constantly around me? It is in the moments of awareness of what is weighing us down that we discover it is us who said yes to carrying it. This level of responsibility is rare, and as I see all the time in the comments, is easier said than done. Of course it is. That's why magic only comes to those who believe in it. The beautiful thing is that magic and miracles are never given up on us. They are available in every waking moment. The catch, we have to be present. And in order to be present, we have to sit in and learn to accept reality. The truth will only set us free when we accept it. So, yeah, I felt like this was interest. It just caught my eye on Instagram. So, what he's saying about the first part, like some fighting for love, sometimes looks like letting go. And you know, the idea of letting go, moving on is very different, because it could just be, for me, I definitely look at it as letting go in the sense of let go and let God. And everything happens how it's supposed to, even when we don't understand it, even if it hurts. The faster or the more open you are to accepting things and letting things flow how they are coming out, the easier it is for you to be able to move on and accept the next thing that's coming, because it's going to come regardless, you know, like if God wants something to happen, it's going to happen. So there's only so much you can do as a human before, you know, it's just going to take over. And there's no sense of like getting yourself stressed out and bringing yourself unnecessary pain and stuff like that while trying to dissect something or to make things happen a way that you want it to be, instead of just, you know, just kind of learning to let go and let God do what needs to be done. And letting go doesn't mean giving up. Like he says, I'm just trying to read through, letting go of not just someone, but also the behaviors and patterns that you may have learned with certain people, or that you developed or that you brought into something, you know. It's definitely a superpower to realize that, hey, you know what? This person or this thing is no longer aligned with my life, whether it be because just certain events happen, or it's just not giving you the same feeling as before, or you know, if you're in tune with yourself, then you'll be able to recognize when, you know, certain things or things, people are just not, it's not matching and it's not working, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you failed or that, you know, both parties are involved, yes, but again, it's going back to the idea that everything is happening for a reason. People come into your life to help you grow, learn lessons, and to be a blessing, but you know, you also have to, like I always say, pack light, because things are changing, always evolving and transforming. And even for the people who don't want to transform, the way that life works and how the universe works and how God works, it don't even matter if you don't want to change. That's fine. If you want to stay stagnant, you can. But you best believe the things and people around you are going to continuously change. Like, one monkey don't stop the show, you know, like you don't have that control. You just don't. And the faster that you learn that, the better for you, because then it allows you to experience things for what they are right now, see things for what they are right now, and be in the present, enjoy the present, look forward to the future, and also remember and what's the word I want to say? I want to say remember and appreciate the past, right? Because you can't go backward, you can't go forward. All you can do is be in the now. And so when you're in the now, you can be more conscious and aware of your behaviors, whether those are good or bad. and recognize patterns and being able to check in with yourself to see, am I behaving and doing things and living in the present that is in alignment with the path that I have for myself and my higher self. And when you're able to do that, then you're able to recognize that, all right, I need to let this go because it's getting in the way of, my next step or something like that, So being able to check in with yourself. So the other parts of what it says, learning to let go of things, like I said, or letting go of things, people, behaviors is a superpower. Because we as humans, when you're operating ego, it's easier. You're going to hold on to something or someone because it gives you power. Because you've learned, that you learned this thing or person or environment so well to the point where it's harder for you to let it go because you've pretty much grown and created an attachment to it. And it's hard as humans, again, when you're operating ego, to let go of attachments. So being able to get in tune with yourself and realize that letting go is a superpower will definitely help you in the future and just even in the present with anything that's going on in your life and things that are just not aligned for you. So trying to think what else it is. I like the questions that he said about when you start tuning into yourself and being able to recognize awareness is, where did I learn to tolerate the mundane? Where did I learn to live in a way that miracles aren't constantly around me? And I feel like that happens, like I was saying, when you're stuck operating in ego and you're stagnant, because you're in like I said before, I feel like a while ago, you're in the dressing room when this is happening because you're not where you were before. You're in the area, you're in the dressing room waiting to be dressed to go to your next level. But your problem is that you're still trying to bring your outfits from before and things from before that just it's not going to work with the next step. And the faster that you're able to recognize that, the faster that you're able to basically, in a sense, be naked, because you have to be naked in the sense of allowing God to dress you and do and put things in your life and people in your life however he sees fit, versus you trying to pack your own bag and get your own outfits together. The more that you are naked and free, because that's how we started out, right? We were naked. The more easy it is for God to just have the miracles constantly around you, because you should live that way, where there are constantly miracles happening in your life. You are a miracle. You bring about abundance. You bring about joy and peace and love when you operate in that. Whatever you're operating in, that's the aura that you give. If you operate in worry and anxiety and pain and anger and just a lot of negativity, that's what you bring with you. And it's not even always on purpose, because like I said, we're human, we have emotions, but that's why you have to go through your emotions, but you also have to tap in and check in with yourself. And like it says, being conscious of your behaviors, because you, like I've said before, when you're in tune and you're practicing on reaching your higher self and staying in tune with yourself spiritually, even when you do get angry about something, you have the decision to make of how you want to respond to it, what your behavior will be. You don't have to be, meek about it and allow someone to walk all over you, but you also have to make conscious decisions about the way that you respond to things, because your reaction has a reaction. Because if you make a reaction that's brash, at the time it might feel right, but then, depending on what it is that you do, it could potentially impact yourself or things around you negatively, right? Have a trickle-down effect, domino effect. So being able to practice awareness in that as well, and like I said, your behaviors, and making sure that it aligns with what it is that you're trying to do for your life. And the other thing it says here, it is in the moment of awareness of what is weighing us down that we discover it is us who had said yes to carrying it. Because no matter what is going on in your life, if you're an adult, kids not so much, but you're 18 over, life is a series of choices, right? I've said that before as well. What you eat, how you look, what you drink, whether you do drugs or not. So only you get to decide what goes on in your life. Only you decide what you entertain and what you don't entertain. And it can't be, even though it's easier, again, that's operating ego, being able to blame other people for your behaviors. I'm talking about your behaviors, not somebody else's behaviors. You cannot control and you're not responsible for someone else's behavior, but you are responsible for your own. And so, like it says here, when you're practicing awareness, you get to decide and acknowledge the fact that no matter what's happening to you, you have the decision to carry it or you let it go. And letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means you're looking out for you before anyone else. And like it says, that level of responsibility, I don't know why I can't talk today, is rare. And okay, what else does it say? It says it's easier said than done, and that's why magic only comes to those who believe in it. The beautiful thing is that magic and miracles are never given up on us. They are available in every waking moment. So, like it says, like you have to practice. Like I've said it before, and it's written on my wall too. When you pray for something, you have to believe in it. When you live in a life of a certain lifestyle, you have to believe in it. If you practice abundance and you say that you live in abundance and you live in peace and you live in love and light and you want the best for yourself, you have to believe in it. If you practice love and you come from a good conscious and you're doing things with good intentions, you have to believe that what you give out is what you will get back times 2 or tenfold, whatever, right? But if you got to walk the walk and you got to talk the talk too. You can't just say things but your actions contradict it. It's not going to help you get the things that you're looking for yourself. And that's why it says we have to be present. In order to be present, we have to sit in and learn to accept reality. The truth will only set you free when you accept it. The faster that you are able to accept the reality of your life, whether that be what you view as good or bad, the easier it is to set yourself free so that you can get to the next level and be able to receive the next thing that God is trying to do in your life. Stop stalling your own life. Stop getting in your own way. It doesn't matter what it looks like to you. If you don't like it, that's too bad. That's really what God is coming from, because it doesn't matter. What you want doesn't matter, unfortunately. But that's fortunate as well, because guess what? 9 times out of 10, what you want sometimes is probably not even good for you. That's why you have to let go and let God. That's why you have to let God do what God needs to do in your life. It doesn't matter if you're down to your last dollar and you don't understand what is going on in your life. Let God do what God needs to do. If God is taking away every last person in your life, let God do what God needs to do. You can't see tomorrow. You can't see next week. You cannot see next month. You can't see next year. You can't see 5 years from now. You cannot see 10 years from now. There is a reason why something is happening in your life today. There's a reason why something is happening in your life right now. There's a reason why I'm giving you this message. Everything happens for a reason. You are going to be your own downfall if you stand in your own way, because God's not going to push you. Well, maybe depending on the situation, God might get to a point where he pushes you out the way, but we have free will. So he's going to let you use your free will for only so long, or if you're not going to do it, then he's going to change your circumstances to change you. That's another thing that I saw too that just made me think of it. Another quote that I saw, I'm trying to find it. 1 second. It was something about like saying, your circumstances. If God wants to change you, he'll change your circumstances, kind of thing, like your character. But yeah, like I was saying before, while I look for the quote, you have to let go. You have to let God do whatever it is that God is trying to do in your life, because there's a reason for it. And, transitions are scary because it always involves you trusting yourself and you trust in God, even when you don't even know what it means, right? I'm wondering if I already read this to you guys, but I'll read it again. It says, many times when God isn't changing your circumstance, it's because he's mostly concerned with changing you within the circumstance. Again, I'll read that again. Many times when God isn't changing your circumstance, it's because he's mostly concerned with changing you within the circumstance. Your character, your inner strength, your integrity matters to him because they are everlasting qualities. The wisdom, the strength, and the maturity that grows within you are all things you're going to need to sustain the calling God has on your life. And know that there is a purpose in your pain. So I saw this a month ago that I had in my phone. And it's very fitting because, again, it's saying, you know what? Again, let God do what God is doing in your life. Let God make the changes within you. And as well as your circumstance, if that's what he wants to do. So he needs to change the circumstance, or he needs to change your character within the circumstance, or sometimes it's both, but usually it's one or the other. And like I don't know if you guys have seen, I'm sure you have, where it's like breakups and stuff like that. They always say God uses those to build your character, but it's true, because when you go through certain experiences and you allow yourself to learn the lessons, that's practicing in soul, not in ego, because ego will have you replaying things over and playing the blame game and putting things on other people and not taking accountability for your role and everything in your life. Because it doesn't matter if someone does, when people do things to you, it is their responsibility of what they've done, but it's also your responsibility of how you got to where you are, if that makes any sense. Like you're still responsible for you. So you always have to take accountability for yourself and the role that you play in certain situations within your life. Even if you made a mistake, you can still be accountable to say, I made a mistake, right? So you can't just blame on every. It's not always about someone else. It has to be about you as well. So the wisdom, the strength, and the maturity that grows within you are all things that you need to sustain for the calling on your life, right? And even though pain is not, pleasurable all the time, and, pain is not something that we as humans try to avoid, but also the more you try to avoid it, the more painful it can be, to be honest. So it, like it's saying, to try to have, patience with certain things in your life, and allow God to do what God needs to do within your life. I'll post that what I just read, as well as the message that I read today. And hopefully it's helpful to somebody. And I could always do a part 2. It's just I wanted to do this episode just to kind of like touch base and tap in, because I haven't done an episode, and I said I wanted to be consistent, but I just been traveling, so it's been hard for me to be able to record, because I do want to do it with some actual information to be able to provide you guys, or some content. I'm sorry if my voice sounds very like raspy. I just been like traveling a lot, and I went to, like I said, the Roots, so which was really fun. That was the last place that was my last stop on my tour. Started out in Houston, went to Vegas, then ended in Philly, back in Boston. But yeah, hopefully this episode was helpful. That just reminded me I need to check in because I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be doing a guest episode on another podcast. So once I find that out, I will let you guys know to check out for that. And I'm going to be doing another one in July as well. So on someone else's podcast. So I'm working on doing those things too. But still, I'm accepting people if they want to be a guest on this podcast on the Black Hippie Lounge. You guys can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Black Hippie Lounge. Rate and review the podcast. And I hope that everyone is just practicing living in the now, live in the present, be patient, wait for the story to play out, man. That's all I can say for everything. Just wait for the story to play out. Don't stress yourself trying to figure it out and make decisions that you can make but might, mess up your stuff. Just be in the now, be in the present. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't try to figure everything out. Let God do what God needs to do. If God wants you to know something, He's going to tell you. If God wants you to do something, He's going to tell you. Like I always talk about, even this past week and this weekend, saw a lot of white butterflies, saw a lot of angel numbers. Actually, I saw a few angel numbers. I haven't seen as many as I was seeing before, but definitely saw white butterflies. So, just look for little symbols and things and ways that God will reach out to you and show you things and keep you affirmed and guide you to your next step. But just right now, I think right now, God is teaching us to practice, to be in the now and be in the present, be patient, let things play out and let the plot go out the way God wants it to be. Stop trying to control everything. It's not going to work. The more you release, the more easier and easier it is for things to flow within your life. So thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful. I will try to do a part 2. Just wait for my voice to get back better. And like I always say, meditate, manifest, invest in you. I'm your host, Chanel. This is Black Hippie Lounge. Like I said, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Rate and review the podcast. And I'll be back in a few days and to do another episode, later on this week. But I just wanted to put out some content and let you guys, get an episode. So have a great night. Have a great rest of the week. And I will talk to you soon.